let's go over a couple of things. First, that crude that we had talked about earlier, that it should be coming back testing that 03, 02. And as you can see, this was an area of previous support. So this is a swinging trade also that's come all the way back through. I like the idea with crude that it's come back to test that support actually. In terms of the XLF, got a gap there. We've been messing around with this gap. NQ like a rocket, took out the high. Obviously the ES double top so far. Trannies seem all right. The biggie because we use the E-mini to teach, and it makes sense to focus on one idea rather than scatter our attention all over as a teaching tool. This high this morning, we said if we got lucky would get to 88. And I said a penny more and it's good fortune. It takes out the IB low and comes out and it tests yesterday's breakout area, this 86. And then if you'll remember, we talked about this. This was the flip zone from yesterday, just underneath this 85, the big 85 the boys love. We keep talking about that. And so all of this motion knocks out all of the aggressive longs that thought this was a piece of cake day. And now all of the guys that are promoting the ES is going to 1750 and wherever, now they're starting to have doubts. And this is where, the rubber meets the road. You either buying, anybody can say whatever they want on Twitter, but either you're buying for a bounce or you're not. Now, sometimes you have the right idea, but timing is terrible or whatever. And we had talked about this high right here as the inflection point, and that a logical target would be obviously the middle at the 90, 75, 91 area. So, and that's why I told you guys, don't let me talk you out of your trades. Because here it is. I said, I'm going to lunch, and, so anybody wants, you're in the long side for the bounce. The idea was probably we'll get to the 91 to 92. This was a breakdown here. And that may be resistance for now, but I'm going to lunch. So I leave something on the table. No worries. No big deal. But I saw the NASDAQ to start to take off, and I said, uh-oh, that's going to lead, because that's been the leader. So this is clearly held support here. And I said it's probably going to bounce, and be careful because this thing looks like it's rocking and rolling if it takes out the high, and then obviously the next target's back here. So sometimes we're guilty of the error of omission. You're not going to get them all. Okay, and so, I'm in church this morning at that memorial service, and I'm looking at, the stained glass windows in their church, and, I'm saying to myself, talk about Hail Marys, I wonder what the market's going to do today. So that was why that was on my mind earlier when I got back, and I said, hey, I like the way the short side's behaving. In the push, obviously, there's a 3-minute chart. I like the way this was behaving, and it comes through, came right into the heart of the support zone where we said you better take your profits, 85. And if you bought this area, once this trajectory starts into a fast move, this very unusual pattern. They got them both ways today. Anybody that played and got both ends of this today, you're a trader. Congrats. Not many traders can do this. And the ones that, say they got it, hey, show me. Because most traders, after this kind of a plunge, this does something that most traders don't expect. And this is not only the shake and bake. This is the shake and then screw all the shorts because this comes out so hard and so fast over here. That's not a normal pattern. So originally today we had talked about this retest up in here, this 98 zone, as being a potential resistance. And we talked about this area right in here, this 86, 87 being potential support. So logically, we're staying inside. We came out a hair on the low side, and I said, if anything, I want to be conservative because I know the way the boys play, this 85, this big 85 zone. So this is a trap. This is a squeeze, and it can only be seen in hindsight. But, I think that this is the setup now for tomorrow, and I think that my original intent was come back from lunch and see if we were messing around and we had any scalp short. Now I'm worried about that because when the market does something irrational, it makes me much more conservative. And this kind of a bounce during lunch is out of character. So it tells me that probably the invisible hand is at work. And I want to be conservative because now I think we've got some trapped shorts. So a lot of times we can make our plans, but you have to adjust on the fly based on what happens. Sometimes you get caught, and sometimes you miss getting caught because of the timing. I hate lunch trading and was not expecting this kind of a push during lunch. But once it starts, you can see it. And you're saying, uh-oh, these guys are in trouble. They've taken out the 92s. They've got momentum, so we already know a big boy's in the trade. Once we get up to the 91, that's your 4, 5, 6 coming in. And now all the way back to the top, to the double top. So, I'm less than enthusiastic now about doing anything, either side. And some days you're better off. I said, one good trade, we got it. If you do nothing else, make sure you protect what you made. So part of the luxury of getting the first trade right is you don't have to do anything the rest of the day. I'd say go play golf. Guys that didn't go play golf and started hammering away on the short side got killed and gave it all back. Red line is support over here. We reminded ourselves of this big 85 zone right here with that line. Remember the previous area there? So all I can tell you is we're way ahead of ourselves again. This is a 3-minute chart. This is your demon originally right here, this 94.5. But my guess is the 88 is now support. And probably if we got back to 92, I'd be surprised. And, because the squeeze works. This is the trap and squeeze. It works by hanging on to traders and then taking them out to the cleaners. So very hard to use a chart like this, and it's very sloppy. You can see just how sloppy this is. So my guess is that our original support, we had originally, support at that 82 to 83. Risk and reward says, okay, better to buy than to short in there. But this is the part right here that I think is the invisible hand giving it a goose right there. Right here. This was the flip zone. You can see it. So shorting, when I originally said, this afternoon maybe we'll find some reasonable shorts, I don't believe we've got reasonable shorts. I think we're fighting the push because of the strength of this drive. Came all the way back. I'm looking at this like kings and queens, intraday. So, if we were just marginally chopping around back and forth and swinging, then you can nibble here and nibble there. I think anything you take short side now, consider it to be short-lived. And my suggestion was, if you really want to short, probably better off shorting a new high than you are shorting inside here. So that's my take, a little update. And I think it's important that you talk about ideas that don't work, not just the ones that work, because this is how you learn from. This is how you see, well, where do we go wrong? Well, sometimes it's not a question of going wrong. Sometimes it's just misunderstanding the strength of a potential move that will come. And in my opinion, we nailed the support low, but this push from here, this goose job from the 92 to the 97, this is just, you know, okay, we got you guys. You think you got us, but we got you. And when that happens, okay, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. You know, this is about making money. It's not about, you know, proving a point. You know, I'm glad Zeke left. Zeke wanted the short side. You know, he felt that we were going to break down. I'm glad he left. He's a great analyst and a great trader. And I hate to see him, you know, get beat on this kind of nonsense. So the bigger picture we had correct, that we are trying to get long side, and the market is still trying to get to test that 1700 zone again. And I believe that the strength of today's push, the defense right here, helps bolster that premise. So rather than hitting the bounces, I think we should be, you know, thinking about buying pullbacks. And if that doesn't work, then hey, it doesn't work. And you don't have to do a thing. Don't do anything. It's been a good day. And if you got part of this move and you left on some on the table, that's the way it is. Then you got to be a chaser if you want to play again. So my belief right now is 88 should be our normal support, and probably 92 our aggressive support area.